Well, hello everybody and welcome to this Expats Portugal's deep dive into healthcare systems in Portugal and more importantly, overcoming hurdles. We've got Nuno Mendes of Winsurance with us to take us through this evening. Good evening to you, Nuno. How are you?
Well, after being visited by Murphy,
yeah,
because I explained, I have all my presentation done, finished, and I just don't know what I did, but I lost all my presentation.
the whole thing, my goodness.
So
yes,
in
not long
30
ago.
minutes, I was recovering. So I have all the contents, but it's not as on a good looking as I have prepared before.
Yeah.
And well, I don't handle good with this.
Yes, you're a perfectionist, aren't you? I'm certain it's going to be fantastic this evening, and I think there's a lot of sympathy for you. Courtney saying, yeah, been there. We've all been there, haven't we? Where we've been happily working on the best presentation we've ever done, and it suddenly disappears. So I'm sure it's going to be fine, Nuno. We've got quite the introduction to you tonight. So shall I play that video?
Yeah, please.
Okay, let's do that right away.
Hi there. I'm Helena, Winsurance's AI assistant. Today, we're going deep on HealthGuard Assistance, a tailor-made solution focused on healthcare assistance needs, usually not covered by health insurance policies. I leave the presentation with Nuno, who most of you already know, and behind the stage, Camilla and Sandra will be replying to chat's messages. Nuno, the audience is yours.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much. It speaks much better than I, but I believe that you will understand what I have for you. So yeah, we have people from our team on the stage that could reply you. If you have any accurate, any precise question, well, I just will answer afterwards. Okay. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, all yours, Nuno.
Okay.
You are co-host, and it's available to you. I understand.
I can share my screen, right?
Please do.
Okay. So I believe that is this one.
I think you're a little bit nervous now, aren't you, about pushing
I believe that is this one. So
there we go.
Let's go ahead. Okay, so yeah, we will be talking about healthcare assistance because we detect that we are having a gap on the public system and also on the private health insurance. So this is mainly what we'll be talking about, but some of you are also asking about doctors, medications, and how it works, the Portuguese healthcare system. So and this is what we're starting. We'll be talking about who manage the health system in Portugal. So who is who? So we have the Minister of the Health, Ministério da Saúde, ruled by the government, of course, and we have the public system, which is the first one. You know this as the SCNS, o Serviço Nacional de Saúde, which is ruled by the DGS. DGS was an acronym that you heard about due to the pandemic, because they are the one who rule all and manage all the vaccination stuff for the COVID. Also, is the DGS who rules the vaccination program, the healthcare centers, public hospitals, and also the INEM, it's the emergency center, the 112, not the 911, but in Portugal and in Europe is the 112. Above this, you can see the private sector. So this is a couple of brands that most of you already are aware of. All of those brands are private brands, And we are talking about hospitals, labs, doctors, nurses, and caregivers also. Okay. There are more besides those, but this is just some examples. We have also what we call participações público-privadas. So the public system have some hospitals that are run by the private sector. So it's a mix of public and private. And we have what I call as a third party. Third party is the Ordem dos Médicos, is the Portuguese College of the Doctors. I don't know if college is the correct word, but correct me if I'm wrong. So is the organization that rules all the doctors. So all doctors allowed to work in Portugal have to be registered in this organization. Has a red flag if you have a doctor that assists you well or wrong, but assist you, but don't do any prescription. So this is a red flag. So a doctor must do prescriptions. If a doctor isn't registered in this order, no matter if he's Portuguese or not Portuguese. So this doctor, one of the problems is that he should not have professional liability insurance, and if you have a health issue, could be a problem. The Infarmed is the organization that rules all the medication allowed in Portugal, and also medical devices. If you are thinking on buying some medication abroad because you don't find it in Portugal, I'm sure that customs will keep the medication. So be aware of this. Also, you can search here for equivalent medication. There are similar organizations like those two, like the physicians, nurses, dentists, alternative medicines, and so on. So this is only to give you a quick scope about the Portuguese system. Now, taking you the control regarding doctors, for example, on Monday, someone asked me about a doctor in Cascais, and it was quick and easy to search if this doctor is registered, and she is registered in the Ordem dos Médicos. This is an example. I use my father-in-law because I need to comply with the data protection, and I have no problem with him. So I only searched for 2 surnames, and I got all the doctors that are registered in the Ordem dos Médicos. This is my father-in-law is a surgeon. Okay. Similar with these, we have Infarmed. You can check also for the price, for the cost of the medication. If you have a medication prescribed in other country, not Portugal, don't search for the brand. Search for the active substance is the main substance of the medication, and here you can check this. I also believe that your doctor abroad can search this better than you or I, because it's not our stuff talk about medication and medical things, but this is something that allows you to check this. Some quick remembers. A way of you can get the SNS number just clicking on a link. the social security identification number. Many times you ask, what is the NISS? Well, is this. So you also can ask this here. And in the end, you can ask for the European health insurance card when after having residency and the SNS number. So this is the public, I should call the public insurance. So is the public system of every country, European country. On a simple way, I'm saying European country. So we don't know how much does it cost. What we know is that with this card, which is free, okay, with this card you are allowed to receive medical care due to an accident or a sudden illness in Europe, okay, on the public hospitals, okay, the public sector. So imagine that in France you need to pay 50 euros. So 50 euros will be the cost of this. This is independent of what's happening in Portugal. Each country have their own public system. So when we are allowed to use accordingly with the rules on each country. I'm so sorry for some mess on the presentation. So today we'll be talking about something on the, we like to talk about the risk spectrum. We don't like to talk about products. So we are talking about people today. And about people, just a quick review. We have the workers' compensation, the income loss, personal accidents, travel, funeral, life, health, and health guard assistance. Sorry for that. So why health guard assistance? We detect that the public system and also the private system has some gaps. For example, talking about health insurance, no matter the insurer, and we will work with almost all of them, so we know how they work. No matter the insurer, once we left the hospital, home care is very restricted, or no, you have no existence at all once you go home. So this is about overtaking healthcare restriction. This is a tailor-made solution that we did with an insurer that which is also very well spread among the rural locations at the interior of Portugal, but we can review this later. So we'll be talking now about medical assistance at home, daily living tasks or household chores, and medical concierge assistance. Okay. About nursing at home. This is due to a disease that could origin bedridden or bedridden or disability. It covers nursing services at own home. Requires that here is a mistake. It's not an insurance doctor. Is a doctor, a allowed doctor. No matter if he is the doctor of the healthcare center, the public healthcare center, or the health insurance policy that you have. Okay. It covers despite the nursing care also covers the displacement of the nurse. Physiotherapy at home is the second one. So instead of having different professionals, physiotherapists assisting you, they assure a personalized assistance during the period of the treatment. Also, the insurer do quality monitorization. Another mistake. So once again, it also requires a prescription, the doctor's prescription, and not an insurer doctor's prescription, and includes the physiotherapy sessions. Is not included. There are not included the materials. Okay. Home assistance. Now here is where there are a huge gap. We are talking about daily hygiene care, home cleaning, displacements from home. So someone took us to somewhere. Mobility stimulation, either physical and autonomy. Goods purchasing, and administering medication, companionship and conversation, and accompaniment during the main meals, lunch and dinner. About medical concierge advice. This is much about explain and be with you on the understanding of what means some terms, some medical terms, and also reports and so on. So it's about if someone needs a surgery and he's insured. So it's the explanation about the surgery and also the procedures, the global procedures. It provides disease prevention guidance, medical support to the similar medication existing in Portugal. So despite that you have the link that I shown you, you can double check here with them. So the support on understanding what are the numbers on the lab reports, medical terminology and diagnosis, guide us about the correct administration of the medication, because sometimes we just lost the paper, or we need to do some adjustment on the I should say the amount of the medication that we are taking. About health scope guidance. So which pharmacies are open on a Sunday, for example, about child health also, and how to enroll on a PT on the SNS. So it's not following all the steps. It's about providing information about what to do. This is easy to qualify. We could do this without medical questionnaires. There are no age restrictions and no pre-existing conditions restrictions. But about this, we'll talk after. Oh yeah, medical. I thought that something is missing. Sorry. No. This is not missing. This is double. I go ahead. Okay, so it's dedicated to the health guard assistance because it's an English-speaking line. Doctors and nurses are the ones who are responding to the calls. So it's not a call center somewhere in India. No, they are Portuguese nurses and doctors, and is assistance 24/7. About the healthcare network, there are here some numbers, but maybe something better is looking to the how is spread this healthcare network. For example, don't look only to the dots, the bullets, because, for example, Algarve is not in Sagres, it's among all the Algarve, the 284 doctors. Okay, we have focused these on the comfort. So the assistance is to be provided at home, on home, avoid displacements, and on time. So no waiting time and no waiting scheduling. Okay, when I say no waiting scheduling, is not for the next hour, but not for the 2 months that you could expect on the public system. About list limits, we thought this solution on a way that could include also people with pre-existing conditions. So what we did was, and remember that we don't have any medical questionnaire. With the cost is at the agreed cost for the reduction. So we have on if I don't have pre-existing conditions, I have 2,250 euros per year to use to medical expense. So to nursing at home, physiotherapy at home, and home daily assistance, I have 750 euros cover. Above these, I will pay the agreed cost. The agreed cost is roughly and on average 50% of the usual cost. Okay, so even though that I could use the full amount available to everyone that don't have pre-existing conditions, I could exceed to the agreed cost. Okay, so how much does it cost? So we are talking about 200 euros for a single person, 330 for a couple, and 150 to a family plan. Remember that besides the cost, remember what limits we have automatically, okay, yearly. Now, about insurance. So yes, we love to work on niches and to work on market gaps. We love to add value. So we are focused on building community and building trust. Okay, and to build trust, we strongly believe that you must have the human touch. So this must be from people to people. We are an independent broker. We always we are committed to be fair. Sometimes we just say to someone, don't do this insurance. You don't need, because we already have this and that. It's true. If you are buying a car insurance, many times we recommend ask for a quote to your dealer, because sometimes they have good prices. They don't assist, but they have good prices. So depend what you are looking for. So we are committed to be fair. We have good reputation. We were the very first nominated broker by MGN. So MGN is very well known among the expat community, because they are pretty much, they are not the only one, but with all the coverage that they offer, with all of that value about covering, they have a single proposal in the Portuguese market, and they start their operation in Portugal in our offices in the city center of Lisbon. So that's why we have a strong bond with MGN, but we work with all the insurers. And yeah, we have a professional liability insurance policy, never used, luckily. Could not be only luck. And this is why we also recommend talk with a broker. Could be not us, but talk with a broker. Otherwise, we could be talking about with someone that could recommend you something. And then when you wake up, and this happened when a claim came, could be late. So we are here to assist you, explain and clarify everything. We are deeply committed to be human to human, focused on add value, and also we are becoming more and more digital and more personal. So it's like it seems that they are one excludes the other, but it's very good. It's a good feeling knowing that there are a path to achieve this, and I believe that we are achieving this. And I don't want to bother you with insurance stuff. So now I know that one question that many times arises is about waiting periods. So feel free to ask about what are you worried about. So
that's so good, Nuno. Thank you very much. Under the circumstances, great job. We'd never have known, really. So you fantastic job there. Really, really good. No need to apologize at all for any mistakes there. It's really good, really very comprehensive, and great news with the new level of service that you're able to offer now with HealthGuard. It's amazing. I've been talking about it for some time, and there you are. You've been doing the research, and now that's available to people. Do we hear from Elena again now?
Yeah, if you want.
Okay, let's just do that and see what she has to say.
Please be aware that despite me being an avatar, Winsurance's team is made of real people, just like you are. In Winsurance, we're engaged and committed in continuously uprising customer experience, integrating real human interaction with AI technology, upscaling human bonds, and turning procedures easier and faster. We are strongly committed on build trust and uplevel the sense of community's belonging. Please let us know how to provide you a better customer experience, emailing us to iamsafe@winsurance.pt.
There she is. Great. And you're saying, Nuno, that it's a very interesting point you made. It's not that it's either or with human or digital. You're extending on both. That's a key priority or value of your company, isn't it? To extend the human relationship, and where digital works, to use that as well.
I confess that I'm a little bit an alien among my peers. Yeah, it's true.
That's quite a confession.
Because I believe that we add value, can be connected with people, knowing the people. I don't like to talk about insurance. I like to hear about what concerns, about what is the situation. No matter if we are talking about people or about goods, property, cars, or so on. So I believe this, and I also believe that technology is the tool that can upscales and turn things easier and faster. So it's a little bit crazy because, for example, there are an insurer in Portugal, an American one, that the strategy was and it still is, we must be digital, and they forgot the people. And when I say they forgot the people, it's not only customers, they forgot their own people, their workers. And this is sad.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's leave that to them. Yeah. And there's an irony in what you're saying, though, given that you want to be more human. That makes you an alien in the industry. What a funny time we're living in. So we do have some questions. Thanks, Camilla and Sandra, for working behind the scenes tonight from Winsurance. Can you please drop the links into the chat? That's a bit difficult cutting and pasting those from the presentation. I did try. I was trying to cut and paste from Nuno's presentation earlier on, but I'm sure they will find their way into the forum at expatsportugal.com/community at some point, and we'll make sure that happens, Courtney. Are the websites that you mentioned, are they proprietary to you and your industry, or are these websites open to the general public as well? Thank you, Camilla. But I think it's quite good airing this answer publicly. Those are public access websites, aren't they, that you showed us earlier on, with Infomed and so on, and finding surgeons?
Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
Open.
So,
just click the link. I will send to Expats Portugal a resume of the links, and then you can share with the audience or with your community.
Thank you, appreciate that. Because it's one thing that they're open to the public, but knowing where to find them is an entirely extra matter, isn't it? So thank you for that. Laura, I'm not sure what your question is here. I'll go for the first time for a second consultation using this insurance that you've finally chosen. I think it sounds like you're now a happy customer of Winsurance, but if that isn't the case, let us know. And if that's a question that you'd like me to put to Nuno. And also, of course, when we turn the recording off, if people want to ask questions of a more personal nature, you can hold and wait for that moment as well after the recording has ended. And Paul, with the EHIC card, it would be great to hear a little bit more about the EHIC, because of course, once you become a Portuguese resident, you are a resident of the EU, aren't you? And you have all those other benefits of belonging to the EU superstate, if you like. And the EHIC card is the medical representation of that, isn't it? So that's quite something for people to have as an additional benefit, thinking they're coming to Portugal and they have this cover across Europe.
Yes, and once again, many times people that like travel and go travel across Europe ask me for a travel insurance, and honestly I say I don't think that you really need a health insurance, a travel insurance. Yeah, yes, it's better to have it, but I don't feel that you really need. Right. But if you are traveling to the United States, don't rely on your health insurance policy that you have in Portugal covering the United States, because you will not want to have a 50% deductible in the United States.
Fair enough. Okay, so quite a stark contrast there. As a resident of Portugal, you have all that cover in Europe, but think twice.
Yes, and this is the reason why I say that I'm okay traveling across Europe and don't do a travel insurance.
Yes.
Okay. If you want to work here, you can do that, but I don't think that you really need. Okay. For 2 or 3 situations. One, because you are near, so you don't need a plane to bring you from, I don't know, Germany to Portugal. You can claim on an ambulance if you are on a state that you can claim. You have this free European health insurance that you can use on the public systems across Europe. So yeah, could be a plan B, could not be the optimal, but you are the one who need to decide what is better for you. If he's avoid risks or take the risks. So
yeah, and obviously you have a chat with Nuno and company there. Does Elena answer the phone yet, or is it going to be a human being when people call?
It seems
I don't mean your wife, Elena. I mean the AI lady, because that's a bit confusing there. I noticed you have the same name for both ladies.
Yeah. No, this one is an avatar.
Okay, all right. She's not answering the phone. All right, great. And Paul makes a good point. Perhaps a little bit harsh. It'd be nice to have a bit of nuance in this from Nuno. Paul, you're saying best advice is to go private. Public is poor unless you are in a life-threatening situation. Portugal has a serious lack of doctors. It does have challenges, like many health systems around the world. And relatively speaking, it's pretty awesome compared to some around the world. But could you dive deeper into that distinction between when it's best to go private and when it's best to go public, Nuno?
Yeah, first, you need to have luck.
Yeah.
No matter if it's private or public. But in general, yes, in public, we have worse conditions rather than on the private. And if we are talking about the surgery, on the public, we stay on a room, a shared room, with maybe 20 people or 12 people, with a single bathroom to all of them. And on the private, you stay on a private room, your private bathroom, and you only receive your relatives or your friends and not others.
Don't make new friends. I get it. It's more of a hotel experience, isn't it? As people,
yes.
I'm sure in the United States.
Nevertheless, the emergency service, the 112, always use the public system. Okay, and it seems that for emergencies, yes, the public system gives good response. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that.
It seems so.
All right, and thank you for putting that into the mix there, Paul, as well. For Laura, I think we need a distinction, clarification here on the difference between an annuity and a policy. This comes from the question, why did the insurance card expire after 1 year that I purchased? And this might be the point to talk about cards and policies as well. I mean, some health insurances are discount cards and not policies. Am I getting too many things mixed up and confused then, Nuno?
Yeah, could be.
Right.
But I believe that what Laura is mentioning is that the insurers on the annual renewal, they often renew the insurance policy and send a new insurance card. So
okay. Yes,
it's a procedure. It's only that.
All right, there you go, Laura. If you need further clarification, of course, ask us a bit later on. I think Jody is referring to the new health guard policy. Can an unmarried couple buy insurance as much as a couple can? So in terms of the policies, the common, it's very old-fashioned. My UK phrase is common law relationships, but I know that's the gist of it. So it's about sharing the same household, not necessarily a marriage certificate or the same name.
Correct.
Right, okay. Silly questions. We love these, and it's not silly at all. This may be a really silly question, but the $330 for a couple is per month, right, Nuno?
No, they are annual premiums.
You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I realize now that
yes. Wow, we're all a bit shocked about that. Yes, so that was in no way a silly question. People would be happy to pay that monthly. All of the previous you quoted there, but actually they are, because I thought you said at the end they were annual, and I thought you were referring to something else. But those are annual policy prices, are they?
Yes, right.
Incrível, as we say in Portuguese.
Wow, you are.
Okay, great. That's really good. So we may want further elaboration on that as people get over the shock of such good value tonight. That's brilliant. Okay, wonderful. Oh, Paul, you may want to unmute to speak of the excellent service you've had. You were talking about a personal note. Nuno put us with MGen, great service, no waiting, hotel style hospital. So a happy customer of Winsurance?
Yeah, very happy in insurance. I rely totally on Nuno for any form of insurance, but I'm not sure about his monthly and annual quote. That I pay that a month, not annually, so I don't know where he gets that figure from. But I think for people like our cousins in America who pay high for insurance,
yes,
Portugal private insurance is not anything like that in its league. I have had 2 experiences with private insurance. And I know friends who have used the public system. And I have to be honest with you, I've had some nightmare stories from the public sector. Once they go into hospital, for people to go see them, they have to book an appointment. And they're not told that. So what happens if they're in a room with 2 other people and they've booked space or time for their people to go see them? You just can't see. I know somebody was in a really serious condition and she didn't know about this. And she couldn't even see her husband because she hadn't booked the time in a public hospital.
So for you, it's private all the way. Then
Well, for the cost and the peace of mind, and comparing it to other countries, what the cost is, I seriously, without question, would definitely get private insurance.
Okay, and I think the confusion there was you're talking about your monthly policy for health insurance, and we are talking about the annual premium of the new HealthGuard style there. Jerry, did you want to add to that?
No, Carl, that's exactly the point I wanted to make. We were at cross purposes there. Thank you.
And thank you, Paul, for your input there, and your testimonial for Nuno there, relying on Nuno for everything, insurance and other lifestyle advice, no doubt as well.
I spent some time with Paul in Algarve, and I like the time I spent with Paul.
Now, I don't know what
and his wife.
I don't know what the equivalent is in America, but when a Yorkshireman, which is what Paul is and his part of the world that he comes from, and this is a little bit of a regional stereotype, and forgive me, but Paul won't mind me saying this. Yorkshire people do like a bargain, don't they, and good value. So it comes as great praise when Paul is happy with the service and the price, more to the point. So a lot of agreement. Cheers, Paul. Don't get me started on healthcare in the US. We will not, Julie. It is, I think, is moot point the right phrase there? We have a great understanding from these webinars how difficult and challenging it is, and what great value it is here in Portugal by comparison, and better service too. Could you please go over the annual maximums for HealthGuard again? So yeah, a little bit more. Let's deep dive into that deeper dive and go back to the HealthGuard, if we may, comparing the annual cost to maximum benefit, if you don't mind, from Susie there, Nuno.
Okay, so we are talking about annual premiums and annual limits, insured amounts.
Yeah.
So about insurance premiums, 200 euros annual per person for a single person, 330 for a couple, for two. They don't need to be married. They just need to be part of the same household.
Yeah.
And 150 per person to families for three or more.
Okay.
This is about insurance premiums. Regarding the limit, is 750 euros with a deductible of 5 euros each time. Okay, each time that we use the service, for nursing at home, physiotherapy at home, and home assistance.
Okay, all right, there you go, Susie. And it's elaborate. There are T's and C's, obviously, so certainly recommend a call and with Nuno and team on that. But I think that answers your question for now, Susie. And as I said, if you need to further clarification when we end the recording, that's a good time to do that. Jerry.
Yes, Carl, Nuno, as you know, I think this is a really exciting development. What I'd like to do is catch up with you, and maybe we'll put more detail on our forum regarding the costs and the coverage and so on. I'll run through that with you, Nuno, and we'll post something up.
Okay, perfect.
Right. Cheers, Jerry.
Thank you.
Okay, Courtney with a great question as well. Nuno can set us up with private insurance as a couple, and then we can add Serenity Concierge in addition. Is that correct? Absolutely right, and it's a great combination that I'm sure a number of people will swear by in the chat here as well. That particular combination, dynamic duo, you might say. I think we need travel health insurance if we're coming to Portugal for an extended visit from the USA. Is that the case, Nuno? What do you mean about extended visit? I think Caroline is looking at a visit, the emphasis perhaps there on an extended visit, and the need for travel health insurance.
Okay, yes. In this situation, I should say yes, not for the cost of the medical expenses in Portugal, but for the cost of a potential repatriation need.
Okay.
Repatriate someone among continents from Europe to United States or to Asia or to South Africa could cost 200,000 euros. I have situations that I know that they reach 200,000 euros. So yeah, for 200 euros or 300 euros for travel insurance. avoid the risk.
Okay. Do some of your health insurance policies cover if you injure your jaw when it hits the floor? Because that's what happened. That's what happened with Sean. His jaw just hit the floor hearing about those premiums. And gobsmacking, that's another policy we need as well. It's incredible. I mean, that wasn't quite the moment on the webinar tonight. Thanks for clarifying that for me, says Andrea. That's fantastic news, says Caroline. And Sandra, well said, Sandra. Please send all your questions to iamsafe@winsurance.pt. And Barack, yeah, I work in the healthcare system in the US, and it is horrible. I think we have a general sense of what's going on over in the US when it comes to health insurance. Barack's other question, as well as that observation, is there an age limit to get health? Have you got an upper age limit on the health guard insurance?
No. We work hard on that.
Yeah, you
there
did.
are no age limitation.
That's fantastic. And thank you. I'll come back to you in just a moment, Paul. And can you get insurance if you have a pre-existing condition? Of course you can. Do you want to say any more on that, Nuno?
Yes. So most of the insurers don't cover pre-existing conditions. Point.
Oh,
yeah. Most of them don't cover. So we have in Portugal the MJN insurer. They don't accept these to all the brokers, but they work with many brokers already, so easily you can get a quote from any broker, and we'll be pleased if you ask us for it.
Yeah, okay. So it is possible with pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
That's the answer I'm used to there. Really good question from Ray, and one from Iris as well. Do you provide the health insurance requirements necessary for the D7 visa? Absolutely. That's one of Nuno and Winsurance's earlier innovations. D7 compliant.
Yeah. So March last year, we fill another gap in the Portuguese insurance offers regarding travel insurance policy to comply with the D7 requirements. So yeah, we have this very easy. It's a very quick process. So just send us an email, and we'll start from there.
Yeah, with so many variables in that process of moving over, it's nice to know that some of them are easy, and that's one of them. Cheers, Nuno, for that. Great question, Iris. Does the good evening to you. Does the Portuguese public health system contact you for regulatory health screenings at certain ages? If so, how does one get to be in the system? Does that happen here, or does it depend if you've got a family doctor?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
So I think Iris might be speaking of UK experience, where you get called in on a regular basis for health screening. So they'll tell you to come in. You know, you'll get a letter from your hospital if you're in luck, if you're in the right postcode, saying to come in for a breast screening or smear tests and those sorts of things. Does that happen in Portugal, a routine screening, or do you need to present yourself really?
I don't know, but for my experience, I never received a request for that from the healthcare center.
So with the male health things, routine things, you'd have to initiate it for yourself.
Yes. And by the way, I changed home address, and I'm waiting since September of last year to be assigned to a doctor on the healthcare center. Yes. So this is
we have had problem. And Serenity, I think, have quite a good hit rate, or other options
they have
plenty of history. And it may well be that Dr. Michael, somebody from Serenity, is with us in the audience who might like to speak to that in just a moment as well. Courtney, we're coming over as digital nomads and giving up our US policy. Will travel health insurance cover us in the US when we go back to visit? Or do Portuguese policies extend to visits to the US? I mean, you already answered this, really, didn't you? It's worth getting an American policy when you go back to the US?
Okay, so there are health insurance policies that extend cover for a short period, up to 45 or 90 days, depending on the insurer. They extend the cover abroad. Nevertheless, remember that most of the health insurance policies in Portugal are based upon a healthcare network. So we got the higher value we've got from the insurance policy is when we access to the healthcare center. Otherwise, we'll be outside of the healthcare network. And on these situations, the usual co-participation or co-payment is 50%. 50% of 2,000 euros, okay, it's 1,000 euros. And this is something that could be a normal amount or cost in Portugal. But as far as I know, in the United States, there are no such thing as 1,000 or 2,000 euros or for whatever. So before travel, no doubt, do your travel insurance. Also, because if we stay on a serious condition in the United States and we need to stay on a hospital for 1 to 6 months stay.
That's a lot of money, isn't it, over there?
Yeah.
So are you suggesting that people get a separate US-based health insurance as well as what you're covering and offering from this side?
No, not a US health insurance.
Right.
A travel insurance is much cheaper and will be covering what concerns when we travel abroad.
But is the policy a Portuguese one or should they get an American one?
Well, we have insurance policies covered.
Okay, so it's covered here. Sorry, I thought you were saying it was good to do Belgium.
No, we
That's
have
great
this
to hear.
already.
My goodness, I've just seen the time. I'm going to end the recording then. We'll come straight to you, Paul, and to Laura, who has a further question. But I've got to say, Nuno, notwithstanding the stress that you felt with the presentation just before starting tonight, you did an amazing job. We'd never have known if you hadn't seen anything. So great job. Alison and Michael saying good work, Nuno, and thank you so much for creating the new product and constantly innovating in the way that you are. So great job tonight. Thank you very much indeed. And we'll stop the recording there.